on a live stream, maybe here and there. Not a lot, but here and there. Just to explain some things that I usually can't explain if I'm doing it through regular recording, due to the fact it does take a lot of time on my phone. And I got a lot of stuff I got to do. A lot of work. Extremely busy. So, a while back, or so, there's a fellow who made some nasty comment about the cardboard PCs and how basically they collect mold. And I'm like, no, dude, they don't collect any mold. You'd have to have some kind of moisture coming from somewhere to trigger mold. It's mold's a reaction element. It has to have something to trigger it. It just doesn't pop up out of nowhere. Most likely, and if all likely, it's going to be moisture that'll do it. That triggers off that reaction. So unless I got the PC in a really damp area, that's the only way mold's going to ever be accumulated. So a guy couldn't be nice about it. He had to be nasty about it. I'm drying my machine. I just got finished doing the job on it right now. I had to put the clear coating on it to give it the ice look and finish a giant case over there. But anyway, he couldn't be nice about it, which would have been nice if he was polite about it. He had to be real nasty and rude about it, so I had to put him in his place. Every once in a while, I do it to somebody who's doing something stupid. So then somewhere along the line, this guy called PC King pops up. Now, I know for the door that you're not the average PC gamer, and I'll tell you why. PC gamers don't attack each other. PCs never usually ever have a conflict with each other because they're modders. They think outside the box. The difference with PC gamers and console gamers, we have like massive amounts of abilities to be able to change, alter, whatever we want to do to our systems. So any PC gamer, whether or not he doesn't mod or not, understands the difference between the two category class. So the category class and modders versus builders. Builders just put stuff together. You just take parts, put it together. And like I said, it's easier now because now it's mostly all snap, put together here, this, that, and the other. When I was coming up, it was drivers for just about everything you could possibly think of. You couldn't find the drivers. You had to go online. You had to trust certain websites. You wouldn't give you a virus in the process of getting these drivers. Now everything is pretty much just plug it in place, so it's very easy to do. Now, if you're talking about the programming part and all that, yeah, if you build, you know all this stuff. You build, you might not know advancements in programming, but you know enough to put a machine together. So if you can build a basic PC, you can put just about anything you want together, and it depends on how long you've been doing it. Dude, I'm 56. I've been around, like I said, when internet speed was 14.4. You know how old that is? Yeah, I've been around for a very long time, like a very, very, very long time. So I've been around a lot of old PCs. Anything from data tape to floppy drives, when the hard disk came out, it was a big thing at one point. All that stuff. I've been around all that crazy stuff in the day. AT motherboards, all that stuff. When a graphic card was an 8-bit graphic card and considered to be the big hype at the end of the day, I was in that era right there. So again, if I wanted something to repair something on my motherboard, you know, you had to go to Radio Shack, get that solder sucker, get the freaking soldering gun, get the pulling out parts, transistors, resistors, fuses, all that nonsense, and you had to basically do that, the testers and all that stuff. So your lab, your desk looked like something out of freaking the laboratory for freaking Back to the Future. You had all kinds of stuff going on there just for a PC. That's how usual PC hookups work back in the day. Now it's pretty much just snap and play, or just plug it and play, if you want to put it that way. It's way much easier than it was when I was coming up. So again, the part process that we have today compared to what we had way back then, none of this stuff ever existed when I was actually working on computers and all that stuff back then. So that tells you the category class of building where I'm at. Now, as a modders is a different category class, which means we change anything we want. If we're not happy with the parts, we change it. We're not happy with the motherboard, we change it. We can alter and change anything we want. Change the color of it, anything we want. I buy these basic. This is a basic power supply for $34. Go inside, change the fans, make them glow in the dark, the whole 9 yards. Anything want ice them up, turn them into ice, turn them into what do you call it? The paint jobs we have to turn them into. We age them so they look like they've been around for centuries. Anything we want. If we can't basically find it, we build it. We build everything, literally just about everything we want, we can build it. So that's the different class I have. So my class, you can't compete with. You know why? Because I can do the same you can do. I can go buy the same motherboard. I can buy the same hard drive. I can buy everything the same as you. Put it inside of a case. I can buy your case. What's the big deal about that? There's nothing special about that. I can go buy your case. Question is, can you do what I do? Can you build the machines that I build at the end of the day? Can't do that because you don't have that skill class. A lot of people can't even operate basically half the stuff we use. Like if I ask you a question, if you want to put a cloud in your system, how do you put a cloud in your system without basically shorting out the motherboard? This is the stuff you got to figure out. All the cables, wires, connections, and all that stuff. You have to know all that stuff. How to connect this, how to override this, all that stuff you have to know. How to build stuff out of cardboard. Anything, any form of material. I've installed PCs in just about everything you could possibly think of. I even put a PC in someone's nightstand one time. They wanted a PC, wireless keyboard. They wanted a better version of the DVRs when they came out. We actually allowed you to do digital recording. So basically, if you know anything about parts, because I know a lot about parts, there used to be when the PCIs were basically very popular. Not PCI Express, the PCIs were popular. They made just about everything you want. So if you got an old PC that had ID cables, you want to run SATA outputs, maybe for your optical drive, maybe for your hard drive. You didn't have SATA outputs. You would basically get something called a PCI SATA output unit, which will allow you to actually install in multiple SATA units by overriding the original IDE cables and allow you to connect that directly into the card. Also, too, another option they used to have one that used to have a TV on it. It was a TV receiver on a PCI. So this is where we're actually turning small computers into DVRs, because we can just go down and get a PCI TV card, plug that in, get a SATA output card, plug that in. That allows us to run massive hard drives. It also allows us to run a SATA burner. So the burners you would have will allow you to play movies, watch movies, and burn movies. So the units we had, and there were regular cases. You get something called a set-top box case. Again, you probably didn't know what that is either. A set-top box case is a regular thin case. It looks like something like one of these boxes. That's what it's designed to look like. So you got your CD-ROM right here. You got your 500 gig hard drive here. You got your TV card in the back. So when he plugs that thing into the back of it, he can hook up his Comcast, he can hook up whatever cable dish, whatever he wants, right through the coaxial cable, or basically analog output. And then he has a hard drive, he can download all his movies, but the TV card gives him the option to be able to take movies, drag and drop them, download them onto the system. That's what it does. So I was building a lot of crazy stuff. Built my own server. Yeah, I had a PC who actually built the, what was the PC called? It was a steampunk PC. It took me almost close to about a year to put that thing. Had to be all hand painted. It had to rust the whole thing out. And then I actually built a system to beat the PS4 to show you on basically how we could do it for cheaper, and then convert it into a server. I also know server networking. So basically I can host games and all that other crazy stuff at the end of the day. So yeah, I do just about everything. And if I don't like my PC, and I find it boring, which I do when I see PCs, I find them quite boring because I look at all the stuff I can do to them because that's how my brain functions. I change them. So right now I have a PC that looks just like an icebox, which is that unit over there I'm building, which I'm about to put that in. Once all this dries up nicely, I'm going to connect that in there. Now the difference between my unit I have over here is both of these units, one for bio, over here for the icebox, they have a screen that sits in front of them. I develop my own screens. See, unlike you got to go buy a TV. No, I haven't bought a TV in 14 years. Why? I develop all this technology. I can make my screens as big as I want. I can make them 235.1, 239.1, 1610. I can make them any aspect ratio I want. Do I require high and expensive projectors? No, because I engineer technology that doesn't allow me to go out and spend the money for high and expensive machines, which means my machines cost me under 200 bucks. And guess what? I can take mine outside. I can literally set up a flex system, a RetroPie, and go outside and game. Even at 50 lumens outside. Something you won't be dragging your monitor outside to do at all, period. Because you would damage the screen if you do so. So the very technology that my people are engineering is the very same technology that soon you will have in your living room or game room, whatever, by us. So that means I'd be 10 times more advanced than you. See, the thing about being the modder at the end of the day is to evolve past the case. To get to the point that you don't have to buy cases anymore. Modders don't buy cases because they build cases. They build their own cases. See, my power switches are different from yours. I can have any type of mod power switch. The one I actually have, I might put on that one to switch out, has basically a nuclear switch, which I can flip up the lid and hit it, and it basically causes the system to come on. We have options of changing our switches at will. Now you can do that on your system. That's pretty easy to do because you can build. You can actually add one of these in. Very easy to do. But as I said before, my era in building, I remember the attachments that came with optical CD-ROM drives. Now, if he's younger, he always remembers. He only has like the PCs that don't come with optical. The optical CD-ROM drives had a cigarette lighter in it. I remember seeing a guy had a cigarette lighter in his cup holders. They had the digital equalizer display for your sound to make your sound bounce. Like, what do you call it? The visual effects equalizer bounce on the front. All that stuff. All that stuff. Touchscreen fan controllers. Oh, get me started on those things. I done bought some of those things. It's not even funny. So yeah, vegetable oil cool PCs. You build one of those yet? I built multiple versions of those things at the end of the day. That's a pretty interesting build at the end of the day. I can even get a Thundercloud to operate under vegetable. I can get anything to run under vegetable. I can put a camera, a web camera. I had a web camera running under vegetable oil to record the beautiful scenery that I had underwater. I did the Big Daddy, Little Sister, all that stuff. Been there and done all that stuff already. Yeah. So my category glass is way higher than yours. Showing me a couple machines that you built, big deal. Anybody can do that and buy the same motherboard. Anybody, can you do what I do? Can you build my machines at the end of the day? I've seen modders and their stuff in there quite absolutely impressive. Do I go in there and belittle their stuff? No. Why would I do that? It's impressive. I find it interesting in what they do. And you, on the other hand, you're I don't know what to call it. You're in a class by yourself. Truthfully, you are. So you think you show me 2 monitors with some green neon lights behind the back of it and a PC case that I can buy? That's like me buying a Lamborghini and you buying a Lamborghini. Mine's yellow, yours is blue. What's the difference between the 2 vehicles? They're both the same, right? Both same models, both the same thing. I can't say, well, mine drives faster, but yours drives faster. Well, mine has special seating, well, yours has special seating. Well, mine has special wind. They both the same thing. Now, if I came up there with something completely different, modified engine, special doors that flip out a different way, suicides that flip out in the opposite direction, something crazy, that makes my car better than yours and different than yours. And since I had the skill level to modify my car the way I want to, and you don't, you just have factory and standard, I don't. So that's what I consider when you buy PC parts and all that stuff and you don't change my Ultron, we consider those standard. We don't do standard over here. So for you, if you got a 5090, you would just basically plug in a 5090. Me, on the other hand, that's a different story. I'm pulling out all the fans because we don't need the fans. That's the stock fans are horrible. They're going to go. I would drop in liquid cooling system and I would drop it to a 4020 on that and then basically hook up a dedicated power supply, which means in order for me to run 2 large power supplies and a 4020, I would have to have a customized case because there isn't too many cases that run 2 different separate power supplies and a 4020, especially 2 of them, and the 5090. So you have to build that case because you're not going to find it. Now you can build a cardboard, you can build a plexiglass, you can build wood, you can build glass. I even built the case for a guy who actually fought in Iraq. He's a big time gamer at the end of the day. And me and my friends went, I got this bulletproof plexiglass and he fired an AK-47 into it and the shell rounds were left inside. I thought the bullet rounds were left inside the case. And they cut it up and they actually turned it into a PC. So his PC literally has ammo rounds inside the glass. You ever seen anything like that? We build stuff like that. So a regular case doesn't thrill me. When I saw the case that had the LED, whatever, display on it, I was like, I ain't spending $3,000 for that. We'll build that. Now the screens we have now. We game off those things. We can do anything we want with those screens. I can detach that screen off the side of my case and go outside and game on it. So that's the difference between my world and your world. Pretty much. You buy standard, we upgrade. That's what it comes down to. Anything we want, we change the way we want to. I have no idea how you didn't pick that one up. Just about anybody who's on PC knows modders at the end of the day. Everybody knows what a modder is at the end of the day. There's no way where you're going to compete with a modder. And no way whatsoever. Basic build, 2 monitors? Are you kidding me? You see the size of my screen I have over here? My screen's 160 inches. And I can operate this thing in a fully lit environment. Other one I have over here is a 235.1. Pretty soon it's going to have the see-through panels on here. I can game right through it and watch images on the other side. These things are far more advanced than your monitors at the end of the day. And even at 720p, I still can pick up a better image than you because I engineer the tech that allows it to do so. I've gamed on screens of 250 inches. You ever game on a 250-inch screen? You have any idea how big the scope is on Call of Duty at 250 inches? It's the size of a car tire. When I game in Mortal Kombat, my figures are actually the same size I am, and I'm 5'11". So yeah, I can make my screens curve. I can make them out curve. You're saying out curve screens? We invented an out curve screen. I can make a micro mesh. I can do whatever I want because I develop my own screens. I'm not stuck to a certain size. If I spend more money, it's going to cost more money. I can paint the entire wall and turn it into a screen if I want to. And with black technology, I can pick up the same contrast level as your OLED game, but the difference between mine is I can leave my game on pause and walk out the door and it won't damage my screen in any way whatsoever. I don't have the restrictions OLEDs have. And it costs far less. You know how much an OLED would cost to cover that entire wall? Yeah. So again, you're not really showing me anything. You're showing me two side-by-side monitors. Dude, I've had it set up with multi-projector setups where I've had somewhere between 3 setups. 1610, 235.1, and portrait. My portrait screens are roughly around 100 inches. So my portrait screens are 7 feet high. Been there and done it. I can game off a ceiling. I've gamed off floors. Yeah, that entire floor is a gaming system. I just take the whole thing apart, take it to somebody's house, put it all back together. See the projector I have over there? That projector cost me $60. And I guess he's never heard of the FLEG technology. That stuff we developed. Oh my goodness, that stuff is freaking unbelievable what it does. When we're done, gamers will be able to game off their desk. Lock those panels in, hook up a simple 50 lumen projector, 300 lumen projector, and game off their desk. And yes, it's fully interactive to drag and drop or write whatever you want on your desk if you want to. So they can literally write on their desk, whatever they have to do, They can eraser off their board, somebody asked me that too about. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my entire life. But moving on. They can do whatever they want on their desk. Because we're developing the desks that are designed that when you lock these pieces in, they have a little bit of a curve up here so you can watch here or down there. Gaming and driving simulators, which you'll be buying from my company, they have a full wraparound screen, so you're having a flat monitor in front of your face. Your screen actually wraps around you. Yeah, try to get a monitor to wrap around your screen. That's not going to happen. It's going to have a Stonehenge effect to it. So, yeah. Two different category class. Way two different category class. Not on our level at all, period. Now, I'm saying is you build nice, you have a very nice build. I do. I appreciate a nice build when I see one. Very nice at the end of the day. But don't call yourself king at the end of the day. You're not deserving of that. Modders get that reputation. Because what we do, we're way outside the box. Men out of a box. Way outside the box. Funny. Don't call yourself king at the end of the day. That does, you're asking for more than what you're biting off more than you can chew. I got programmers I know at the end of the day could run circles around you easily. They got stuff at the end of the day. You're talking about programming at the end of the day? Those guys? Are you kidding me? I got one that works for the FBI. I got a couple work for military. Those guys could run circles around you. They can redirect and ping off a satellite. You don't have that capability. I know another person who's a master encryptor. She worked for Microsoft. Unbelievable on how much knowledge actually can be pushed into a brain. I've never seen anything like it. You would never know it in a million years. They never ever show it, to tell you the truth, honestly. But anyway, yeah, all that bragging and boasting nonsense at the end of the day, I put somebody in their place because they were trying to talk dirty about my stuff, and you felt the need to come in and talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. Buddy, you bit off way more than you can chew. I mean, way more than you can chew. There's no way in the world you're going to swallow that, man. You'll choke to death on the way down, man. There's way more than you can chew off. No. Ugh, my goodness, man. But anyway, yeah, you can talk about the cardboard box and make a difference. It'll look far better than your setup at the end of the day. I guarantee you that much. And when I'm building over here with my new screens, oh yeah, I forgot I do build my own screens. When GTA 6 comes out, wait till you see the PC I'm building behind that one. Not only, yeah, you can probably get the parts, we know that, but you can't build the machine. I'm actually building the theme for GTA 6 in a portable PC that I can take anywhere I want. And because I have that technology that allows my screen to pick up even outside, I can take my PC outside and game. As a matter of fact, I figured out a way how to get a power supply that could actually run my portable system, my micro ATX board outside with a 5090 attached to it, which is going to be attached to a liquid cooling system, because there's no way in the world running that thing on a stock fan. Oh, heck no. But anyway, I have the customized case, and I'm using something called the Fluorescence, which you know nothing about. It's a new form of gaming screen that we're developing that if I want to go outside in the park and I want to play GTA off my system, I can do that at 50 lumens. I can take it anywhere I want to go. And it connects right to the back of the screen, right to the back of the portable PC case. That thing has a nice little handle on it too. So yeah, I can play GTA anywhere the freak I want. So you can go take your monitor. Your monitor ain't doing any of that. It ain't doing none of that. It ain't doing none of that whatsoever. None of that. And again, the two monitors you showed me at the end of the day, no, buddy. Again, I build my screens as big as I want. I have that option. What you see is this thing right here. They're already down there. I got everything down there. Wait till you see what this thing does. 235.1. Yeah. If you're doing any racing games basically have to be done at 235.1. You need that widescreen spectrum for those, especially when you're doing cockpit. And the size monitors you're showing me today, what, 20 inches? What are they? Not big at the end of the day. I'm not used to gaming on anything that small. I game on that little thing from time to time, but I got these giant screens right here to play around with. Okay, well, that's basically about it. Oh, console gamer. Can't forget about you guys at the end of the day. So, you see the category class? We have a different category class of builders, modders, and all that stuff. And people who build. Is there anything wrong? No, ain't nothing wrong. They built some pretty cool stuff. I've seen some people put together some beautiful pieces, and they very nice job. Love what they do. But I don't go in there and going, oh, you had this. I don't care about that. I'm loving the build, how they put it all together, how they're talking about the parts and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy. And whether they mod or not, I still like watching their builds. You, on the other day, buddy, you're a bit ignorant. You come on my channel carrying on and acting up, disrespecting me, because I had to put somebody in their place because they made something about a false statement about my product, my cases, and I put them in their place. That's what I did. And you felt that you didn't like it. But I think for some reason you're the same person. Because again, why would anyone else be bothered by that? I think you're the same person. I think you should have different accounts. And I've seen you change your account because you banned them a couple of times and he comes in with a different account, which is pretty sad. That if I ban you and you come back in with a different account and we ban you and you come back in with a different account, that shows how desperate you are to get your voice across. Because most people wouldn't even care. Like, okay, whatever, go back to my world. Well, big deal. You're just so desperate, man. You're very desperate to prove your point that you're this PC king. Yeah, and then you mentioned something about a missing motherboard. There's only one person we know that we had in the day who made the statement about a missing motherboard. So how would you know about that? I mean, the odds of you finding that YouTuber and you guys, no, that's you. You're that person. Judging by my buddy, when he saw your specs, he said he copied and pasted. Once again, machine. Where is the machine? You're just showing a picture. You're just showing a video of a machine. That's all you're showing. Break it down. Open up the case. Pull parts out. Show me what all these different parts are for. Blah, 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 blah. That's usually what most people do. A person who has a car, who's worked on an engine, they're not going to say, oh, I worked on the engine. No, they're going to pop the top. They're going to show you what I did. I did this right here. Da, 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 da. This is the pain in the neck. I had to be underneath. Da, 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 da. They're going to break it down. Anyone who does carpentry or anything anybody builds, and it took them the time, they're going to break that thing down and say, yeah, this is what I had to go through. So I had to change this from here and put that over there. You didn't do any of that. I mean, copy and paste king. That I think as far as we can go. And then when I made the statement, you gotta listen. I listen to. I watch everything now. When you made the statement, I made the statement that if you're a PC builder, why do you only have one video on your account? They have multiple videos on their account, especially if they're buying parts. Say, hey, I got this particular part. I like this part right here. It's a great fan. At the end of the day, it has high RPMs. Super quiet. Doesn't make a lot of noise. They're reviewing their own stuff that they're putting on their PC. I say, break it all down. How they're putting it all together to build. But you only had one video there. And the minute I mentioned you had one video, all of a sudden now, when you came with another account, you have 4 videos on there. So are you putting videos on your account because I said it, or are you putting videos on your account because you're building new stuff? You're putting videos because I said it, which means you never had those videos to begin with. You're so easy, man. You ever taken psychology before? Studied the human brain and behavior of human beings? I have. I actually dated a psychiatrist for a very long time. It's interesting. about the way people write things, how they say things, how they word things. You can read so much about you, it's not even funny. That's one thing I found interesting about her, that the fact that she understood the behavior of human beings and exactly certain key things that you do, that you give off information about yourself. Or if you're going to be a person who plays poker, I would suggest you taking up that. Because definitely people give off a lot of telltale signs. It's unbelievable. And you can read them all day long. I used to sit out in the park with her and she could just read people. You give off so much information. And there's a thing called fishing. We'll throw out certain things out there, you got to catch it that quick. Get all kinds of information out of you, but certain things you do. Yeah. 20 steps ahead, always. Anyway, I'm going to finish this. This is drying right now. That one's drying. That one in the case is already drying. Oh, I can't stand working with the clear. We need it to make the case pop a little higher on that one. And now I have to engineer a different version of glow in the dark, because that's what we do. You know, we don't like to glow in the dark. We figured out different ways of basically make higher, more advanced, more fluorescent glow in the dark by basically engineering and modifying our own glows. Which we do that, like I did in the case. I did it. Oh, I'm thinking about doing the desk that way. That was sick. The way everything was changing and back and forth, I was changing with one color back. Oh, that was sick. I'm going to do my desk this way. My buddy wants me to do it inside of his PC like that, with the lights, with his RGBs in there. Look it up. But we got a new coating coming out. We got a new glow-in-the-dark coating modification for PCs and the consoles and stuff like that. But as I said, for consoles, excuse me, when you guys want to claim to be PC, I can understand this hype right there, because you got some crazy parts in the machine at the end of the day. But the only sad thing about it, it don't allow you to touch your parts. You're going to touch certain things in the day. You don't have, all you guys have the same machines. That's what it comes down to. You all have the same machines. Whatever what, you have the same machines. The only thing that differentiates your machine from another person, that you got mod controllers, rapid controllers, stuff like that, or you have bigger hard drives. That's it. Unless you did something to that machine at the end of the day that no one else did to theirs, that's the only way. Other than that, you all have the same machine. That's like, you know, when you look at, I watch a lot of videos called Walk Through Japan, and everybody has black hair. I can see why people color their hairs in different ways. I can see why they have a different style. Everybody wants their own style. They all don't want to be the same. They all have black hair. That's how a PC is. A console is. You all have the same color hair. That's why people go out and they mod their cases, the color of them, all that stuff. They change out the cases, see-through peekaboos, whatever they do to them, because they want to be different. But deep down inside, even if you change the case and whatever you do, you still have technically the same parts. Unless you figure out how to rip out that GPU, CPU. I mean, you could say your hard drive's bigger than the other guy, but you know, he can do the same thing too. He can get a bigger hard drive. Not really hard to do. PC, on the other hand, it's different. You can have this particular category of build, that category of build, and this category of build. Now, I'm not going to call you PC king, but we don't consider you to be a king. There's only one king, and that's God. That's it. No man has the right to call himself a king. Ever. There's only one king. Jesus Christ and God. That's it. Never call anybody a king. Please. Anyway, I'm just going to call you PC guy. That's what I'm going to nickname you, PC guy. So, PC guy, another thing you did that was very ignorant is basically tearing down someone's PC build. You should know by now there's different types of PC class of what people design. This machine right over here makes more money than you. It's my work PC. It operates our websites and everything. It makes more money than you. It works. It's not for show. That thing makes money. Now, if I want to do some retro gaming, I'm an old guy, 56 years old. I came up in the era of retro games. That's my era. That's what I lived in. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy more about gaming than anything in the world, is that whole 80s kind of, more like 70s kind of style of gaming, because that's my era that I really enjoy gaming in. The new stuff they have today, everyone said, wow, I might get something, but I'm really not going to pay it. I don't play that much. I got that Cyberpunk 77. I stopped playing it. In the middle of the game, and went back to a retro game that I really enjoy to play. So that's my era right there. So when I build a machine, I don't have to have a lot of crazy insane parts, because again, my games are retro games. A 3050 or a 1050, more than enough power. I don't need all that. The 700 watt power supply I have on there, fantastic. Cooling system I have on there, fantastic. And yeah, buddy, an i5 or any type of CPU is going to generate heat. You sit there and say it's not going to generate that much heat. Any CPU generates heat. You pull the fan off and see how fast it burns out. Anyone. So yeah, you can have liquid coolings on i7s, i5s, all that. If it wasn't the case and it wasn't necessary, they would have never made the adapters. They wouldn't even put it down the specification sheet on which CPUs you can actually use a liquid cooling system for. Do you know why I have a liquid cooling system in there? Let me explain to you this one about your environment and your fans at the end of the day. First things first, you don't have to have a liquid cooling system on your PC because you're supposed to have this real powerful CPU. No. I have liquid cooling systems on my system. I can run fans on here too. It's because if I'm in the heat, which I'm in an area where I live at, where it gets cold out here, they turn the heat on. So if my system is stressing out, if it's basically any system you add any heat to, cell phones shut down when they get too hot, any form of components that get too hot go through heat stress. And these systems will go through heat stress. They don't have to be high powered to do so. So with that being said, with the hot air sucking into my already stressed out system, my fans have to work 10 times higher. I had a PC called the Red Dragon. It was red, had some nice white lighting and design. And what happened was that these big 140 millimeter fans in there, and this thing was making it sound like the Batmobile going up under my desk. Like, why the heck is this thing kicking in? Because all the fans were on automatic. They were basically from running off the motherboard system. So I'm sitting there, I'm here, I'm like, why is this thing so loud? My machine's going to explode, so it feels like. And finding out that the hot air in the environment, the machine's trying to cool down, but it's sucking hot air from the environment back into the machine. I had literally had to pick up the machine, put it on my desk, and I had to put plastic around it, open up the window so cold air could filter through it, and then its temperature started to drop. I was like, okay, I need some kind of refrigeration unit because the fans aren't going to work. On top of that, fans sucking a ton of dust into your system, which is constant to keep everything clean after that. Anyway, so this is where I got into liquid cooling. Because liquid cooling will allow me to keep that CPU nice and cool, and no matter how much heat was in the environment, it would never affect the system. My PCs stay on 24/7. They don't require a lot of power. I rarely shut them off. I got ones at the home front I haven't shut off in maybe about a year and a half. They're still running right now because they're on a liquid cooling system. That's why. I even have a battery backup system. If the power goes out, they still run. Live and learn. You live and learn from multiple making mistakes here and there on how to fix things and make them better. But anyway, yeah, that's why I got them. On top of that, they look cool as I don't know what, so I freaking love them. I have done liquid cooling systems under vegetable oil PCs, which and then today another area with a heat problem. Heat problem you have with that, the heat has nowhere to go. It's trapped in vegetable oil. Where's it going to go? You'll cook your machine at the end of the day. So you put a liquid cooling system on it to keep the CPU nice and cool, because that's the only thing that's going to be sticking out there in all that heat. But you got a high-powered graphic card, then guess what? You're going to have to liquid cool that too. So yeah, I learned all that stuff, man. So my machines at the end of the day aren't designed to be high-powered gaming PCs. This one works. This has a Connect System program modifications that I put in there so I can drag and drop my desk and to modify the software and firmware on that. It also has projector mapping applications in it. It has several multiple versions of programs that runs websites, my business, social media sites, all that other good stuff. Now, as for banking accounts and all that, no, nothing's on here for that. I got a separate machine for that. That's an encrypted unit. I had a friend come to do that one for me. You know, military guy did that one for me. Yeah, he did hook that thing up. But anyway, that's something different. But that's not a remote control server. Anyway, this right here at the end of the day, this is basically designed for work. This is designed for it. It doesn't need all this high power. And I do play games on from time to time, and the games I play on here fit perfectly. You don't need a lot of power to run games. A 5090, what the freak you gonna run on that thing to begin with? Besides basically overheating, maybe catching fire. What games do you need that require 5090? You don't. It's an overhyped graphic card. It's all for basically for bragging. If that was the case and a 5090 was a requirement for all games, then nobody would be playing. Very few people could play because the only people can afford a $5,000, $6,000 card. So games today, which I did in the video, showed you don't require a lot of power. A 3050 you can run perfectly with no problem whatsoever. Games with no problem. There you go. I mean, you have that power. So half the stuff you have, you won't even use at all. And if you talk about RAM capability, dude, I had a 2011 server board. I told you about it. 2011 server took 256 gigs of RAM. That each system a lot. And that, mind you, they were P3 3000 OCs when they came out. Those sticks are $200 a pop. How much money it cost me to fill out the entire board? It was a lot of money. And those were server boards. And so you have your one processor. I had 4 of them on the unit. Yeah, good luck trying to develop a liquid system for that. They were close to that. I had to bring a buddy of mine who did basically welding to build a kind of a plus adapter that would fit 2 copperhead water coolers to attach to that thing. Because that thing generated heat like there was no tomorrow. That's why I like the open rack systems, because a lot of air can flow back and forth. That's why I'm a big fan of open racks. But anyway, if you remember the Danger Dans, I don't think you remember Danger Dans, way too far back. That's when you had the invisible UFO cases with all the hype. You ever put one of those together? Oh man, those you don't buy, those you actually build. When you get that case, it's going to sound like a Lego system in there. You literally put those cases together, and mind you, the screws are invisible. So it's a headache to put them things together, especially when your instructions are written in Russian, because that's what happened to me when I bought the UFO case. The same when I actually dropped the Xbox 360 when I modified that unit. Yeah, but anyway, different class, buddy, different class. When you have time, educate yourself, go on Google and look up PC modders, and you will see the crazy stuff that some of these people do at the end of the day that are quite amazing. But my machines here, the class for these, work machine right here, this is a work machine, and the one I have over here is my retro system, right here. That's the one I'm building right now. Oh, this is going to be glowing in the dark pretty soon. I just ordered, oh, and I got this thing to work too. So yeah, it's working. I had to go in and redo something with the motherboard. That's another one of the awesome things about being able to have skills of soldering and all that stuff, to be able to pull parts out of your board and repair that stuff instead of sending it back to the manufacturer like, oh, I can't fix the board. You know what I mean? Basically having the ability to repair your own stuff, and that's the era I came from. Any of the old heads will basically show you that they go do the testings and all that stuff like that, and they do their own stuff. They pull out their own parts and stuff. Once we just replace the entire board. Unless I don't feel like fixing it, then I'll go get a new one. Other than that, I'll just fix it, because I really don't feel like yanking that thing out of there. Let me see if I can find out the port where you're at. There you go. Ooh, be nice, be nice. So that one right there, working. Fixed it. I love this one. This is going to be cool looking when I get done with it. I've always wanted to do this kind of greenhouse effect. I'm not greenhouse, it's more like overgrown greenery PC. I always want to build one. Each one of these, I got a kit coming in and glow in the dark. All this is going to glow in the dark. The flowers, all this is going to glow in the dark. UV lights are all be pushed through here. The whole entire case looks like it's actually made in a bio container. I'm going to have greenery all around here, all around the corners, light. This thing is going to look amazing. And this thing connects right in there. Refrigeration unit almost done. See what I mean at the end of the day? I build my own stuff, man. If I don't like, I build my own stuff. See the hard drives I have in here? Now, your hard drive fans that you have, what you have, M2s on yours? M2s? Yeah, what do you probably M2s generate a ton of heat. It's kind of hard to keep those things cool. Unless you're going to liquid cool it. But then you have to find, they have a liquid cooling system for the M2s, but you can't run that through basically an AIO system. You got to run it through the whole system. You have to build everything separately. Now, if I'm building it separately, I'm definitely going to be designing my own radiator and reservoir. I actually want to put a gallon reservoir in one of my systems when I get around to doing that. Modify everything. Now, if I'm putting down your build and saying it's garbage and trash, no, it's not garbage and trash. It's a very nice build. It is. Nice parts on it at the end of the day. But you're ignorant. You're a very ignorant human being. I'll tell you why. Because, see, I can go in and I can appreciate your build and say, yeah, that's very nice. I like the way you put that together. You go onto my channel and say, oh, that's trash, that's garbage, that's this, that, and the other. Not being unaware of what these machines are used for. If I want a high-powered machine, I'll build me a high-powered machine. I don't need one. This is efficient enough. This works enough. That's all that I need. Why do I go out and buy something, big parts, for something that I'm not even going to need at the end of the day? Not necessary. Now, when GTA comes out, I'll build me a high power machine for that, but that's I'm going to actually not technically you don't need a lot of high power parts for that. But anyway, I'll get something nice for it. That's basically about it. But I guarantee $100 that my stuff for GTA, my PC, is going to blow yours clean out of the water. Mine, any screen I develop will easily blow any OLED you buy out of the water. OLED has that transparent screen that they have. That's what we're actually building over there. Mine's not even going to cost $100 grand, and mine's actually bigger than their screen at that, and mine's a 235.1. The technology on there make a 720p look beyond 4K. There we go. And when I get done, buddy, guess what I can do? I can pull one of those panels off, and I can take it anywhere I want and watch it outside. Can't do that with your OLEDs. Spend all that money for a TV at the end of the day, and you can't even leave it on pause. That's one of the things gamers do all the time. You leave stuff on pause, you walk away from a machine, leave it on pause. God forbid if you have any form of standalone, standstill images like your HUD, that's automatically going to burn into your screen. Good luck on that. Watching the movie and you got freaking a Call of Duty imprint of basically how much health and ammo you have on the side of your screen while you're watching a movie. That's going to suck. How much money it's going to cost? I could go in there and I can take a matchbox. I can hit your screen. It'll crack. You know how much money it costs you to prepare that? It's the reason why you always see people throwing the whole entire TV outside and they figure out, why don't they just get the screen fit? Because the screen literally costs more than a TV. These over here? Yeah, right. I got Gorilla Glass on these. Which is also too weird. Oh, they can't do that because of all those circuits they have in there. They can't do it. Well, why would they put... Why don't they get sell you a protector? They do with cell phones all the time. Cell phones, they sell you a protector to put on your phones and you don't jag it up. How can they don't sell you one for your TV? I'm pretty sure they have one. I bet you it's expensive. But they should give it to you. They know what's going to happen, but you know why they don't give it to you? Because they know that your kids are going to crack that screen. Something's going to go wrong. That screen's going to get cracked. And they know that you're going to have to buy another one. That reassures them to get more money out of you. Because you got Gorilla Glass up there, something they put up there, and your kids are in there throwing a matchbox around or metal spoons or whatever they got going on in there. They know that they hit that, it's not going to cause any damage. So they're not going to be able to get extra money out of you. That's the reason why. That's why, you know, everybody has those TVs, have them up really high. They don't have them down low. You can't put that thing down low. Your kid will come on there with a metal spoon and bam, hit that thing. It's going to, it'll crack. And people get upset and get angry at their games. They throw their controllers. They're not realizing how much money that thing's going to cost them to get that fixed. You have to buy a whole new TV all over again. Oh, and wait. Let me tell you about the beautiful part about those TVs. And I've seen this many times. They have motherboards in them. Motherboards and very, very poor air circulation. That thing's flat. It's laying against the wall. How much air you think is pushing into that TV? Not a lot. So you ever come home and turn on your TV and for some reason hear sound but you don't see video? Your GPU burnt out. I've seen that happen to a couple of people. Come home, turn the TV on, and be nothing. They contact and say, Ken, what is going on with this? Like, your GPU just burnt out on your system. It's a motherboard in there. Any one of those circuits go wrong in there, boop, that's your TV. Gone. Just like that. Yeah, and those TVs are kind of, what's the word for it? I can't say flaky, but they have all types of problems that go on with them. I found out about the burnout issues, the dead spots, all that stuff. There's no way in the world I'm buying anything like that and putting that in my home. That is way too much money. Way too much money for a machine that at the end of the day I really can't use the way I want to use it. Ah, what are you doing? You're crushing my boots. My boots, man, my boots. All right. I'm not singing that song. I got things to do. Anyway, I got to get back. This thing's already dried already. See, at the same time, come out here, have this old lecture, have some fun, dry my PC, connect that thing over there, and get done. And also, too, I got all my parts. Cloud system. Yeah, that thing's going to have a cloud system in it. Because, you know, it's a nuclear rainforest. It's got to have a cloud there. Got the adapters already in here, so I can run my fans and the RGB lights. And also, too, again, man, look, this is what you have to learn about me. All right. Don't second guess anything I do. Don't do that. Because I design things on the crazy levels. That's not a PC. That's a projection screen for engineering. It's nothing to do with a PC. There's no PC in there. Now, there's a section that I may add a RetroPie to it. Yeah, but it's designed to be a projection screen. It's demonstrated on a projection screen. That's not a PC. This has lights in there. And the reason why it has lights in there, because one of the things I realized that when I had a screen attached to this one over here, when we had in the other system, is that having the lights either farther or closer apart adds depth to the image. It makes it look like the screen goes on and on, when actually it's just the lights giving out that effect. learn that stuff and do enough builds. All right, well, that's basically about it. I had to take my shoe off for a minute. Look at this. I had to get rid of the Nikes. The Nikes were nice. I mean, the Pumas. Pumas were nice, but the way they were made, they had this high heel and it was very thin at the bottom. Made me feel like my feet were being shoved into something. Didn't like it. These are the new babies I got right here. I like these. This is what I should have bought to begin with. Some hikers, man. I'm wearing hikers from now on. This is my go-to shoe at the end of the day. How much did I pay for these? $30. Freaking love them. Padded. Yes, and they got finally the tongues are webbed. Man, I can't stand unwebbed tongues because then your socks and tongue be sliding over to one side and your laces. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to wax laces though. Reason why? Because it makes it basically when you tie them up, you get a nice more tighter bow with it. But yeah, definitely like these at the end of the day. These are good, fantastic. I didn't get a chance to test these babies out. Anyway, let me put this back on my foot. Boom! And it's got the reflectors on it. The reflectors. Now, sad to say, I'm not going to do the build here because I got stuff to do. I just came on just to pop on for a minute. I may pop up once a month here and there. And that's basically about it. If I have something to discuss, I'll most likely no. All right, there we go. Now I'm glad we got all that out of the way. But yeah, you get too emotional, dude. Yeah, PC guy, you get too emotional. Now, did you see me go to your channel? You didn't see me down there, did you? You see me post anything on your channel? Yeah. Know why? I don't got time to be doing that dumb nonsense in there. I'm a busy man. I don't go to none of those channels and post. You'll go to my channel and post. You'll go to my channel and cry. You don't ever catch me crying on your channel. For what? Don't care. That's it. I went over there. I clicked on your page. I know you don't have one video. You should have a lot more videos in that, especially if you built something like that. There should be a ton of videos on there, but you don't have that. And the minute I said ton of videos, now you add 4. 4 is not enough. You got to be way more than that, man. 20, 30 videos on a build. How many videos I shot when I basically did the steampunk? Oh my goodness, man. I did one on the paint job, the different copper pipes we had to bring in for it, different type of LED fans in it, the lighting system, the freaking paint job. There was so many videos I had to do on that thing at the end of the day, like how we put that together, how we put in the LED strip. I had an LED unit that read steampunk and ran across the screen. And all that stuff. I did a video on each one of them, breaking it all down. Same thing like this one. Tons of videos on it, on how I broke it all down. I put it all together, the whole 9 yards. And you should have way more videos than that. But did I go on your channel and go, oh, your video, your whole setup sucks? It's this. No, I never said that. At all, period. You know why? Because I don't care. You come to my channel and cry. I don't go to your channel and cry. Big difference. I wanted to sell. I saw. Nice setup. I liked it. Pretty cool. And that's it. Go about my business. You come on my channel. Oh, and look at this. Oh, look at this immature idiot at the end of the day. All right. I'm time to move on. I got time to entertain kids. You understand how that works? So, get your act together. Be a little bit more mature. Grow up a little bit. You know what I mean? Learn to appreciate other builds instead of tearing everybody down. Life works much better when you don't spend your entire life hating people and you learn to actually be nice to people. You have a lot more friends and less more enemies. All right, gotta go, people. Thank you for your time and God bless.